Hey, what is going on, guys? It's Young here, and today I'm back in our Fortnite video. In today's video, I'm going to be going over the best dead zones to have here in Fortnite. I'm going to be going over the dead zones that I use and also give you guys some very good recommendations when it comes to your dead zones, because just like the other settings in Fortnite, it really is subjective to an extent. A lot of people are going to have different dead zones. Not every single pro uses the exact same dead zones, and I'm going to go into the best dead zones to you and also give you guys some very good suggestions when it comes to picking and choosing the dead zones right for you. And real quick, before we get into the video, I'm going to be giving away 2,000 V-Bucks every single week. So if you guys want to win some free V-Bucks and if you guys want a chance to enter, all you guys need to do is to drop a like on this video. Make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure you guys do turn on those post notifications so you guys get notified for every single new video. And lastly, comment down below either your Xbox gamer tag, your PSN gamer tag, or Epic account, and you guys will be automatically entered into the next giveaway. And also, if you guys like to support me in the item shop, all you guys have to do is go down to the bottom, click on support a creator, type in my code. My creator code is Young Humor, and you guys will have me added and supported as a creator. And alright guys, let's get right to the video. Alright, so in this video, I wanted to be going over the best settings to use here in Fortnite. So when it comes to dead zones, it really is for everything. When it comes to editing faster, when it comes to hitting more shots, being a lot more accurate, being a lot smoother, a lot quicker, really every aspect of the game, because your dead zones is how quickly your controller registers each movement. So the lower your dead zone, the quicker your controller registers, which is very good. You want to have it as low as possible, but also at the same time, depending on your controller, if you have your dead zones too low, your movement's going to be all over the place. You're going to be having stick drift like crazy. So when it comes to choosing your dead zones, I want to give you a very good guide and help you guys choose the exact dead zones that are going to be right for you. So when it comes to dead zones, like I said, it impacts everything from building to aiming to really anything in the game. So here I'm just going into my settings, and so down low here are the dead zones that I currently have. I have 11% on my left analog stick and I have 8% on my right. And I actually just got a new controller like 2 or 3 days ago, and this is very important because when you guys get new controllers, you can usually run extremely low dead zones, which is very useful. And I think the best way to go about choosing your dead zones is starting on the lowest, like 5 and 5, and then working your way up. But of course, you probably wouldn't play on a 5-5, because even with a brand new controller like myself, I've had the controller for like 2 or 3 days. Even with that, I still have a little bit of stick drift when I do play on 5-5 dead zone. So like I said, you probably want to start on the lowest and then work your way up. The goal is to have your dead zones, for the most part, it's a little bit tricky when it comes to your right analog stick, but for the most part, you want to have your dead zones as low as possible without having any major stick drift. And this is really important when it comes to your left analog stick. So you do not want to have any stick drift whatsoever in your left analog stick. And the reason being is if you have a very low dead zone on your left analog stick and you have stick drift, what's going to happen is you're going to be in a game, you're going to try to pop minis, drop a big shield, med kit, whatever the case may be. So if you have too low of a dead zone on your move stick dead zone, then that is going to be a problem, because you're going to try to pop minis. As you can see, you're going to be drifting over and it's going to cancel out on your minis. This isn't the case when it comes to your right analog stick, because that's just how you look. But when it comes to your left analog stick, I would recommend that you bump up and you try to find the lowest dead zone without any stick drift, and then add like 1 or 2 points onto it, because you really do not want any sort of stick drift. But at the same time, you don't want to play on like a 40 or 50 dead zone. That way, if you play on too high of a dead zone, the move is going to feel super sluggish. But also another good reference point, if you guys play on a older controller, you probably want to start on a higher dead zone. For instance, on my Elite 1 controller, my dead zones were like a 15 and a 17, because my stick drift on that controller was a lot more than the new controller that I have. And since I've been on a new controller, I've actually been able to lower my dead zone quite a bit. So that is also something to keep in mind when you are choosing your dead zones. If you have an older controller, you tend to have a little bit more stick drift and want to play on a higher dead zone. But if you guys play on a newer controller, maybe you got the controller within the last couple months or very recently, then you probably want to play on as low dead zones as you possibly can. I found the sweet spot for my move analog stick between 10 and 12%, sometimes even up to 13%. And that's just because of the controller that I have, because like I said, you do not want any stick drift whatsoever on your move stick dead zone. But when it comes to your look stick dead zone, this is a little bit more tricky, because obviously you want to play on a low stick dead zone, because that's going to be your looking around dead zone on your right analog stick. And this is very important because if you have a low dead zone, it's very, very precise. You're able to make those movements a lot quicker. Everything's going to register a lot faster, and it's basically like playing on a lower input delay. It's just so much cleaner and so much better. And the higher you go, the more sluggish and the more delayed it feels. So you don't want to play on too high of a dead zone unless you have a really bad stick drift on your controller. So I do recommend anywhere from maybe, I don't know, maybe like a 6 or 7%, all the way up to like a 13 or 14. Really wouldn't go too much higher than that unless your stick drift is crazy, like I just mentioned. But I kind of liked 6%, and I moved it down a little bit. And when I was doing this video, I kind of realized that I wasn't getting much stick drift at all on those lower dead zones. So I might actually bump down my look stick dead zone to maybe even like a 6 or 7%. We'll see, but I actually might move it down because I don't have any stick drift at all. Because like I said, got this new controller probably, I think it was like, yeah, 2 or 3 days ago. So pretty much brand new controller. So I have little to no stick drift whatsoever. But for those of you guys who do play on linear or exponential settings, it might actually be in your benefit to have just a little bit of a stick drift. You don't want to have too crazy, but that's only going to be on your right analog stick, because as I'm going to show here, and when you have a little bit of stick drift, it pretty much locks onto the player very, very easily. So if you're standing still and you're trying to lock onto the other player, and maybe for a second you don't move your analog stick, you don't get any aim assist. So how it works basically is if your analog stick is constantly moving, then that is when you get the aim assist. If you don't move your right analog stick at all, you get no aim assist on the other player. So if you're trying to jump shot the other player, and maybe you're trying to aim a little bit more with your left analog stick, so maybe you try to jump over or try to jump shot the other player, and you're not moving your analog stick much at all on your right stick, you're not going to be getting any aim assist at all, which could be a big problem. So having a little bit of stick drift can actually aid to your benefit. As you can see here, I'm not moving my analog stick whatsoever. You can see my controller, I'm not moving it whatsoever, and it's still able to kind of follow the other player, which is very, very crucial and important, because if you have a little bit of stick drift, it's going to kind of carry and follow the other player, which can just be a huge advantage for you guys who play on linear or exponential settings. If you play on legacy, not so much, just because on legacy settings, the hip fire the hip fire accuracy or the hip fire aim assist isn't nearly even close to as strong as the exponential and linear aim assist when it comes to that hip fire close range. So if you play on legacy settings, don't really worry about it. Just play on the lowest dead zone without any stick drift, so that way you can be as quick and as just accurate as possible without having to just have stick drift and, you know, moving all over the place. So those are going to be pretty much my recommendations when it comes to choosing your dead zones. Like I said, it really just depends on your settings as well, because if you play on legacy settings, having a little bit of stick drift on your right analog stick actually doesn't benefit you pretty much at all. But if you do play on linear or exponential settings, then it pretty much is a very, very good idea to have just a little bit of stick drift. That way, when you are playing in your game, you're still able to, I guess, still follow the other player even if you're not moving your analog stick. So if you're jump shotting the other player and you're not really going for a flick, you're still able to kind of lock onto the other player and still hit the shots very, very well. But when I was going through my dead zones and when I was making this video, I realized that I really don't have much stick drift at all. So like I said, I think I might actually end up lowering my dead zones just a little bit more than what I have. But I won't go too much because it's only a matter of time before I'm going to have to bump up my dead zones again. But having low dead zones really feels a lot smoother. It feels like you have less input delay, which is, you know, the less dead zones you can have, the better. But of course, if you have a little bit older control, which probably most of you guys have, I doubt a lot of you guys have just brand new controllers all the time, so you probably will play on a little bit higher dead zone than I did show in this video. But keep that in mind. I would recommend, if you have an older controller, just start at maybe 14 or 15 dead zone and then work your way up, because you're gonna have to play on a little bit higher if you have an older controller. And for those of you guys, I got a lot of questions on how do you fix stick drift if you end up getting it. To be honest with you guys, I have no idea. If I ever have issues with my controller, I'll probably just end up sending it to Microsoft, like I have gotten my 6th replacement. I think I might be on my 5th replacement for my Elite 2, because that controller is absolutely dog meat. So yeah, anyways, if you do have stick drift, I don't really know what to tell you guys. Maybe you just have to get those buttons or those analog sticks replaced by the manufacturer, I guess by Microsoft or by Sony, depending on if you have Xbox or PS4. But anyways, that's all I have for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys found this video very, very helpful, make sure you guys do drop a like. Make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you guys do turn on my post notifications so you guys get notified for each and every single new video. And as well, if you guys like to watch me live, I do live stream every single day on this channel at 5:45 Eastern Standard Time. So if you guys want to come by my streams, if you guys haven't seen any of them, make sure you guys do watch my streams. I stream every single day. And alright guys, I'll see you next video.